today we're going to do another session of Real Talk. My name is Julius Kordakowski.
I'm Douglas Primo.
I'm Megan Reed.
Our first female on the podcast.
All right, he calls it out. All right. Megan, can you tell us some stuff about yourself?
My name is Megan. I'm a senior Rad-Tech major this year, and yeah, I like it here at Alfred State. It's my second year, and it's going pretty good, and I can't wait to graduate in May.
She wants that money.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm
Sick
getting
of working for free.
Yeah. That is a problem because you had like a summer clinical sites where you had to actually like pay for it, I believe.
Because it was technically a class, so we did Monday through Friday, 8 hours a day, so it was a 40-hour week, and we were basically just working as like what our major would do as like a job, and we didn't get paid for it, and we actually had to pay for it because it was technically a class, so.
That kind of stinks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, like, what do you call it? You have to provide your own transportation to get to the site,
Yep.
and then you got to, not pay, but, like, work for free, essentially, to get your hours.
And I have to pay for gas to get there, too.
That's tough.
Yeah.
I wish there was something where it's, like, they could cover your gas, like, where you, or, like, there'd be a way to, like, write off that expense, because you are a student. Like,
Right.
It's a part of your major, I get it that, but, like, there's no reason not to account, like, it's like textbooks, like, account for gas a little bit.
Yeah.
It's like that during the year, too. Like, our first year, we go just one day a week, 8 hours, and there's sites, like, the furthest site from here is 2 hours away, so you have to drive yourself and pay for gas, and it's just a lot. And then the second year, you go Monday, Wednesday, Friday, so, and it's still 8 hours a day, and it's a lot. You could be stuck in Rochester, 2 hours away, drive yourself, and actually to get into our major, you are required to have a car and a driver's license. You can't be accepted into our major unless you have those things.
Wow.
So I would not be accepted into the major because I have neither.
No, they just write you off. They put a big X over your name, like,
Yeah.
I want this guy. So, what are some things you like about it? Like, what do you like about your major?
I really like going to the OR. So Rad-Tech is X-rays for people that don't know. It's just a fancy name for it.
You might want to. What is an OR?
Oh,
people might not know about
operating
that.
room, like surgeries. So
Yeah.
we get to actually go into surgeries with a special X-ray machine and take X-rays during surgeries. It's really cool working with the surgeons and, like, you know, getting to see a surgery. Like,
Yeah,
as a
it's
student,
known as
especially.
imaging.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. And there's different machines we use. We have like our like stationary X-ray room that we just do like outpatients in. And then we have like a machine, it's called a portable, that you can bring to patients in like the ER or like up on the floor and take portable X-rays so you don't have to move them all the way down to your X-ray room. It's
Right.
pretty cool.
So, have you seen some different types of fractures in terms of bones? Like,
yeah.
anything like a little, like, not gruesome, but like a little.
Yesterday, actually, we did a broken wrist. It was a surgery I got to go to, and I ran the machine during it. I really like, as a student, like, once you're, like, tested out on something, as long as you have, like, a tech with you, like, someone who is, like, been working at the hospital supervising you, you can go in and do things by yourself, and they're there to help you if you need it. So I actually got to run the C-arm during the surgery, and it was really cool to see how they fix, like, broken bones and stuff.
Right, and in the wrist, aren't there, like, a bunch of, like, small bones? Like,
Yeah.
they're not regular bones. Like, it's like, I think they're called, like, irregular. Because they're shaped
small.
funny.
Yeah, they're called carpal bones. There's a bunch of little ones in there. And they do, like, screws and plates to, like, fix different kinds of bones. I've seen hip replacements where they literally just, like, cut off the top of the hip and put screws in there.
They
It's
stick a
really
big piece
cool.
of metal on there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can feel the weather. You know, you're your own, what do you call it? You're your own weather station.
Her favorite phrase is, "Oh, I didn't break my bone. I just fractured it."
Well, I have a lot of patients. They'll be like, I hope it's not broken. I hope it's just fractured. And I'm like, fractured means broken. It's the same thing. There's no difference. Like,
Understand the terminology.
Yeah.
yeah, it's hard to, like, talk to your patients, too, when, like, because we're not qualified to, like, diagnose. So, like, I could take the picture and then see that it's clearly broken, and they could be like, is it broken? I'll be like, I can't tell you, but if you want to look at it and see for yourself.
Don't you take the pictures, make sure they're, like,
Yeah.
correct, the sizing, and then don't you just pass it on to,
Yeah.
like, a doctor or physician?
There's a special doctor called a radiologist that reads them, and they're trained to read, like, X-rays, MRIs, CTs, and they're the ones that can, like, determine, oh, it's broken, it's this type of fracture, it's this side, like, lateral, medial, like, where it is, and they'll tell, like, the other doctors who will figure out what the, like, treatment plan is for
Well,
if it is
that's
broken.
kind of nice. So it takes a little bit of pressure off you. Like, you don't have to, like,
Yeah.
diagnose anyone.
There is sometimes, though, like, for chest X-rays, like, if I see something wrong, Like yesterday, my friend, she's at the same hospital as me. She did a chest X-ray, and there was something clearly wrong with this patient's lung, and it was like filled with fluid. So when you see something that serious, you should not let that patient leave. So we went to the radiologist, and we were like, "Can you read this like right away? Like we don't think she should leave. Something seriously wrong." And he was like, "Yeah, you guys are right. We should send her over to the ER." And thank God she did, because her lung was filled with fluid and it was not good.
Yikes.
We just would have let her leave. It would have been probably worse.
Could have been really bad.
Yeah.
So, what else? What do you like about Alfred, I guess?
Yeah, what do you like about Alfred?
I like that it's far from home, especially like I came right from high school, so I live 4.5 hours away. So I feel like I needed just to push myself to get away from home, because I was very like shy, and I was like never been too far from home. So I was like, I just need to like get out there and do it and just become independent. So I like that I did that. There's a lot of things though, like I said, with like we have to have a car and we're required to leave 3 days a week for clinical. It's hard to find like parking, and that can be difficult because I have to leave and I don't really get a say in that. And when I come back and there's no parking spot and I have to walk a mile back to my room, that can get annoying, especially when there's people parked in spots right next to the like building that I live in, and it's been the same car in the same spot for months. And it's like, if you don't have to leave, why are you parked so close when I have to leave like every other day?
So one could say that's a bit of a problem.
Yeah.
I mean, it's tough though. Like the campus is built on a hill.
Right, yeah.
So like they literally, to put in a parking lot, they have to not only level it out, but they have to like get rid of a hill.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then like where the buildings are on campus, like I don't know if they really planned on like having as much parking as they do now.
Mhm.
I mean, I know they just put in, what do you call it? They extended some lots.
Mhm.
And I know they also put in like these little side chutes where you can just park, drop off someone, and then just go on about your way.
Yeah.
Kind of stinks for commuters.
Yeah. I live in Mackenzie, and there's like the little Mackenzie East, and it's got the little like drop off loop thing, and people would like park on like the side of the curb to like go run in and get Tim's, and then they put signs up that say no parking there, but people still do it. And like it's when they do that, if you're parked in one of the other spots that's actually a parking spot, sometimes it's hard to like back out.
You can't get out.
Right, because you're blocked in by people who are parked where they're not supposed to be, so that can get annoying too.
What about you, Doug? You drive?
I drive a little bit.
He drives a little bit.
I
Okay,
drive
he's
a
got
little
the
bit.
license. Got the license.
I do got a permit. I am, I've driven a little bit. Not too much recently. I'm gonna definitely get my license within a year, hopefully. Have to.
You got this.
Yeah.
You know, it's adulting. We believe in you, especially here on Real Talk. You know,
Yeah.
we're vying for Doug. Let's go.
Put in the comments when you think Doug's gonna get his license.
Predictive analysis.
Yeah,
of Doug's
predictive
driving.
analysis. And I also just refer to myself in the third person. So weird.
Summer. So
Huh?
I don't have to drive you around anymore.
Summer.
Yeah. Summer would be nice.
That would. Doug, you got any questions, Doug?
I've heard a lot about what she does because I am just because I'm around her so much. So I mean, I don't really have any dire
Speak with your chest.
questions.
What is it? What is she? What is she to you, Doug?
She
Tell
is
the
my
audience.
she is my girlfriend. I didn't really want to bring it up, but you know,
I mean,
it's
there. We
out
can cut
there.
it out.
I can cut it out.
You can cut it
I
out.
can
you have
cut
the
it out.
power.
I can
okay?
cut this
you
out
were
too.
like He-Man with the mic. What's that sword? I have the power. You have the power. In Cap
I
Cap.
get the He-Man reference, not the sword. I don't know the sword.
Dude, yeah, I don't know it either. I just remember like he's He-Man and the Masters of the Universe.
Yeah.
Shout out to that very old TV show, but it's a goodie.
And what's the villain? Skeletor?
Yes, it is.
Skeletor.
The dude with the melted
Skeletor.
off face.
Anyways, back to our guess. So how would you fix what would you do to fix the parking problem?
I just feel like I know some majors, like, and a lot of like vet tech majors have to go to like the vet tech thing down the street to do like kennel duty. And I know there's a lot of people that like have to have cars, but maybe for like the majors that don't need cars, like tell freshmen that they can't bring a car. I know a lot of colleges do that.
Mm-hmm.
And I know it would make a lot of people upset and angry, but if you're a freshman and you have a car on campus and it's just sitting in the same spot for months and you don't drive anywhere, like, what's the point? Like, people who actually have to leave and use those parking spots should be able to.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe they could make it, I know it used to be, like, heaven was freshman parking only, and like there was like senior like second year parking, so maybe they could do like the lots that are further away for like people who don't have to leave,
Mhm.
and like change the requirements for that. But
Or major specific parking, maybe. That might be a little
that would
too.
probably be difficult though, because based on like where people live and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you put like Rad-Tech people park in this parking lot and it's like a mile away from Mackenzie.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah.
It's kind of rough. Like, I've been here for 4 years. It's always been a problem every year. Like,
Mhm.
my first
Yeah.
2 years, I had a car, and, like, it was a nightmare to find parking.
Uh-huh.
Especially if they close, like, not the, what do you call it, the lots up by the field.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like, that's usually the spot, like, where I would go. When those lots are closed for a football game or they got to put the tent up, it's a pain.
Yeah.
Because, like, I do not like parking in heaven or, like, up really high on the hill.
Mhm. Or like when family weekend happens and all the parents are trying to find spots too, and it's just like there's nowhere for people that actually live on campus.
Yeah.
Yeah, and, like, I don't know. Like, I kind of thought about it. I wonder if they could do a better, like, organization of parking. Like, I don't know if they're ever going to limit freshmen again because there was
Yeah.
a big deal about that a while ago. Like, uprising, whatever.
Yeah.
But like reorganizing parking in terms of like color coding cars. Like
Right.
commuters are a certain color so that like the policeman could spot the tags a little easier.
Yeah, and I
Mhm.
know like sometimes like they keep changing, like this is faculty now, this is student now. Like I got a ticket last year because the map that they gave me, I was a freshman and I was still confused. The map that they gave me said that it was student, but they had switched it to faculty and there was no signs or anything when they gave
It's
me
terrible.
a ticket. Yeah.
It's terrible.
I was
Mhm.
like, really? But I don't know. It's just I feel like there's no good way to fix it. It is what it is, and it's just always
Just
gonna
don't
be
have a car.
bad.
Yeah.
Get a
Yeah.
scooter.
Yeah, I don't have any
Electric
parking
powered
problems.
scooter.
I don't have any parking problems.
Doug, you just gotta get a scooter, okay?
Yeah,
Get one of
exactly.
the electric powered ones.
Yeah, one of the ones that like fit on your back.
Quite literally, and you can charge it in class.
Yeah, exactly.
Got a buddy that does that. So shout out to Jalen. He just zooms around
Sup-
his little scooter.
Super smart.
Yeah, a little bit. Just an alternative.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a weird campus though, because it's again like because it's on a hill. Like you can't bike, you can't like no.
Yeah, unless you're just
Mm.
going down the hill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta like trek back up. That's the worst.
Oh yeah, that is the worst.
But I mean the residence halls are okay. Like I don't mind like the living accommodations too much. It's just
Mhm.
that parking is an issue for a lot of people.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And like I can imagine imagine if you're a faculty,
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
they have to move daily, come in, come out. Like that's got to be annoying.
And I
Mhm.
feel like the construction's just making it worse when they were like trying to fix that road, and I would park like up by the field, but like all the sidewalks and stuff were blocked, so I had to walk all the way around the construction to get up there, and it was a lot. I was
Yeah.
not happy. And then they would like block. I'd find a new route, and then they'd block that too, and I'd be like, how the heck am I supposed to get to my car?
There's no winning.
Yeah.
Construction does not,
No.
Construction never ends
does
here at
not
Alfred
favor
State.
the cars that
No.
travel through the roads they're working on.
It's getting better now. There's not so much construction.
No, I think they're closing up a lot of stuff. Like
Yeah.
it was a big infrastructure plan that they planned out. So I think they're like finally putting most of the stuff away.
Mm-hmm.
And I know like our main building is the agriculture building. They've been saying they're gonna tear that thing down and remodel it ever since I was like applying here and like touring the campus, and they still haven't done it. Like my teachers, their offices are in there, and they moved everything out this summer because I thought they were gonna do it this summer, and then they keep pushing it back, so they had to move everything back in. It's
Dude, and to
crazy.
redo the ag building, like that's a pretty big
Yeah.
building.
Yeah.
Like, I
And
know
they're
it's
like gonna
dated,
do the
but-
whole thing too. Like not even just like they're gonna level it is what I heard.
Yeah, and where are you going to displace all those offices?
Right, like our
Yeah.
X-ray machines in there too. Like our live X-ray
So
lab
you
where
got to
we
take all the
X-rays.
equipment and like put it somewhere else.
Yeah, we were supposed to be moved to the motorsports building, I think, and so we were gonna have to drive there for
Where's
classes.
that?
I don't know. I think it's over by the farm.
It might. No, I
think
thought it
that's
was
what
in
they
Wellsville.
said, but I don't. It's not in Wellsville.
You're probably right. You know
No.
more about that than I
But
do.
I don't think it's the one on the main road either. I'm pretty sure it's the one up by the farm. I
Mhm.
don't really know.
It's a hard
though.
not life for the Rad-Techs out here.
I know. I mean, I'm happy it didn't happen because we were able to stay like in our lab and nothing had to get moved. Because I imagine it'd be pretty hard to move a live X-ray room because we have two rooms. One's older and it doesn't shoot X-rays, and then one actually shoots X-rays. And we have this like mannequin with like a real skeleton in her, and we take X-rays of it for practice because you can't X-ray like each other because it's radiation and that's very illegal.
Well, I mean, that was a big problem when they first started X-raying people because they did not know that the radiation actually like caused
Yeah.
cancer.
Yep.
So like, what do you call it? There was that famous woman who did, like I think she did a lot of work with X-rays. She literally gave herself cancer.
Oh yeah. Oh, what was her name? We
I
watched a
know
movie about
she's
her.
important. She's very important to the X-ray field. I think she's French.
Yeah, was it like Marie Curie or something?
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that?
Marie
yeah,
Curie.
Yep. Yeah, we learned about her, but like a lot of people like think that X-rays are like super dangerous, and like a lot of my patients are like, "Am I gonna get a shield for this?" Like, I was like, "I can if you want," but like we really just shield like women of like pregnancy age and like younger men that like want to keep like be healthy like reproductively, but
Mhm.
other than that, we really don't do it, and it's actually being done away with because the doses are so small and they don't really require it anymore.
Right, it's about volume. So if you're getting like X-rays every day, that is a problem.
Yeah, like I know for us, since we work with it all day, we wear like a little radiation badge right here next to your thyroid because that's radio sensitive. And it just like collects how much radiation you're being exposed to, and then you send it off and it gets measured to make sure you're like within your dose limit. And we wear like, we really don't get dose because we stand behind the wall when we take them. But like when you're doing like fluoroscopy, which is like video X-ray, and you have to stand out there with your patient, or like surgeries, like I said earlier, and you're standing in the surgery room, you have to wear that anytime you're giving X-rays. You have to wear the badge. But you get dose from like fluoroscopy or
Yeah,
surgeries.
I had no idea about the little badge. Like that makes a
Yeah.
lot of sense.
I have it with me. It's over there. I was supposed to switch out to my new one, but my teacher wasn't there.
Oof, that's tough.
Yeah, but it's cool. There's a lot of things I didn't think about when I first got into it. Like, I didn't realize we got to go to surgeries, and now it's like my favorite part of it, and it's really fun and cool to work with different doctors and stuff.
I think there's a lot of parts of healthcare that are really, really cool, and like what you're able to see. Like I don't care if you're a doctor, a nurse, someone who like a receptionist. Like there's a lot of people. They call it like interdisciplinary team.
Yep.
That literally, because it's like all these people have to work together to get healthcare for like services to people and patients.
Yeah, it's there's a lot of different like modalities too you can go into. Like once you get your X-ray degree, you can go into like CT or MRI or IR, which is interventional radiography, and there's just so many different levels to it that you can move into. You're not just stuck in one position. It's really cool. You can just keep learning new things.
So Doug, would you trust your girlfriend to give you an X-ray?
Of course I would.
Okay, good to know. See, he trusts you. There you go.
What got you into X-ray? I know the story, but let the people know. What got you into it?
I can't remember what grade I was in, but I was still in high school, and I went to it was called a MASH camp, and it's basically where they just take like a group of high school kids to the hospital and they show them like different areas. So I think we saw like PT, OT, X-ray, and the histology lab. And I really found an interest in X-ray there. And then I ended up being diagnosed with scoliosis, which is just like a curve of the spine. And I had to get X-rays every 6 months till I turned 18, just to make sure like my spine wasn't curving to the point where I needed surgery or anything. And I just thought it was really cool, and I started researching it more. And that's actually how I found Alfred, because it's one of the only colleges that really offers it around where I'm from. And there was a lot of things that I found cool about it, and then even as I got into it and started doing it in college, there was even more things that I didn't realize were involved in it that I thought were still cool, and it just kept getting better for me.
And you just kind of settle on Alfred?
Yeah, because the other two colleges that I looked at, one was like really small, and they had like one dorm hall and one place to eat, and it just
Do you remember the
wasn't really...
names? I guess for
Yeah.
anyone that might like listen to this and be like looking for colleges.
Yeah, that was North Country Community College, and actually this summer, because they put you at home for your home site, I met some students from that college. They were super nice, and it was cool to see how their program differed from ours. Ours is definitely, I don't want to say better, but it has
We're better.
advantages.
We're better.
Say
Yeah.
thorough. Maybe there's a little bit
Yeah.
more to it.
I just felt like compared to them, I was further along in my education than they were at the point, because we were both like the same. It was the summer semester between our 2 years. So we were at the same point in our education, but I just feel like I knew more.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, but it was cool to meet them and see how they did things. And then the other college I looked at was Monroe Community College, and that for me just was really big and in Rochester, and I'm from a small town, so it just was a lot for me. There wasn't nothing wrong with that college per se, it just wasn't for me.
Yeah, the sizing. Sizing is
Yeah.
the thing. Let's face it, a bigger college, a bigger campus, like Alfred, you could, like someone has literally said on a show before this, like you can walk 5 minutes from end to end.
I don't know
Pretty
about
much true.
Yeah.
I don't know about 5 minutes, but yeah.
Something like that.
Speed walk.
He did say 5 minutes, but I don't know about doing
Close
that
enough.
in 5 minutes.
Close enough. We're not gonna measure it out, but it's
Yeah.
probably like 10.
I did get to meet students from Monroe Community College when I was in Rochester General Hospital this year, and they seem like they have a pretty good program too. I definitely wouldn't count either of those colleges out. I just felt Alfred was like better for me.
Yeah, you gotta find what works for you, because everyone, like, at the end of the day, everyone
Yeah.
has like different levels of what they want.
But both programs seemed really like good. Yeah, the Monroe students, they kind of came as like a group. I know for us, he tries to, like, our clinical coordinator tries to put us like spread out, and we switch hospitals all the time to see like different hospitals and like which ones we like, which ones like bigger, smaller, some orthopedic offices that do more of like extremity work.
See, I could see how that would be an advantageous thing to get different like settings. But does that ever put you back a little bit in terms of like having to like go to different sites and different procedures? Like,
Yeah.
kind of put you on the back foot a little bit.
Because everywhere does their procedures different, or they have like different machines, so it's hard to get used to like older machines versus newer machines at first. Like for the place I'm at right now, they have an older machine, and normally you have to like go out and like move your, it's called the x-ray tube, to line it up like manually, but they have a button behind the wall that you push and you can't do it manually. So sometimes I forget to do that, because everywhere else I've been, you do it that way.
Yeah, so there's just an extra step. You kind of be like, hey, hello, can you please show me how to do this? I'm a college student.
Yeah. And like we're only there for 7 weeks, for 3 days a week. So it's a lot of time, but it's really not also, because you have to get used to new people you're working with every time, new doctors if you're going to go to surgeries, new radiologists who are going to be reading the pictures that you take. And if you're someone like me, like change is hard, and it's like I need a lot of time to get used to something new. But I feel like it's also good to get used to different machines, because you never know where you're going to be working and stuff like that.
I mean, you want experience.
Yeah.
Right? That's like the basics of clinical. Like going
Right.
to a hospital setting, you want to get some of that experience into kids and students.
It's good to put on a resume too that you've worked with all different kinds of machines. Like I've worked with like Carestream, Philips, Siemens, all different. Like Samsung makes X-ray machines. I didn't know that until showed up. I was like, wow, Samsung makes X-ray machines.
Now
That's
you
cool.
know.
Yeah.
That's
So in
interesting.
terms of Alfred State, like, how do you like, I guess, like the extracurriculars, like the things you can do on campus?
Yeah, I think they have a lot to do on campus, lots of different clubs you can join. We actually made a club, the Diagnostic Imaging Club. It's for any students, I guess, but mainly right now it's X-ray and sono students that are in it. We were trying to do some like fundraiser stuff, but ended up not working out. But we have meetings like every Wednesday. We're trying to like build it up. Yeah. We're trying to get the first years to take it over, because we're all leaving, and we're trying to be like, guys, come on.
It's hard because it's all about turnover. Like, that's something I realized too. Like, as you go through your years here, like it's turnover.
Yeah, yeah. And it was like our advisors wanted us to do it, and then we made it, and then they kind of just like backed off a little bit. And so we're just kind of like struggling to like get it up and going, trying to get the first years to take officer positions, because we're leaving, because it's hard, because it's only a 2-year program. And we were gone so quickly. It flew by. Like, I can't believe I graduate in 8 weeks. It's crazy. Well, not 8 weeks, but I'm done in 8 weeks.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I'm going to ask you a very difficult question.
Okay.
Which is your favorite hospital that you've been to?
For me, I really like Rochester General Hospital.
I thought that was
just
going to be
because there was always surgery, and I love surgery. There's surgery every day. There's always something to do different. Like, you could go to fluoro, you could go to portables, you could go to surgery, or you could just stay in like general X-ray. Like, there's always something different to do, and you could like pick what you wanted to do that day. So if you were sick of just like chilling in regular X-ray and you wanted to go up to like a hip replacement, you could do that. Just move around, do what you want. But for some people, it was very fast paced, and you're always like on your feet like crazy. So some people like a slower, like steady pace. Like,
yeah.
It's like sometimes there's like orthopedic offices that are just like doctor's appointments and stuff like that that people come into. So it's more like scheduled, I guess.
Yeah, it's not so much surprise. It's like orderly.
But there's a huge difference in terms of like big hospitals versus small hospitals, and it all really comes down to funding.
Yeah.
Like, what you can, like, what procedures can you do, and how much money do you have for your services? How much money do you have for technology, for upkeep? So it's kind of hard for some of the smaller hospitals to do some of that stuff. So that's why like they get like they're specified sometimes.
Yeah.
I know one of the hospitals I was at that was smaller. They lost a lot due to like COVID, so their cafeteria was closed down. They didn't have a radiologist on site, so we couldn't do fluoroscopy procedures because you have to have a radiologist standing in the room to do that. So they just didn't have a lot of things to do. It was mostly just general x-ray. They don't have an OR, I don't think, either. But it's just good to, like, go to different hospitals, because if I would have been stuck there the whole time, I wouldn't have learned OR or fluoro. So it's just good to, like, move around and see different things.
I think that's one of the good parts about Alfred State in terms of their healthcare degrees. I think they do a really good job of picking different sites for their students to go to, whether you're in nursing or any of the smaller 2-year degrees for healthcare.
Yeah. I mean, it was a pain in the butt to drive to RGH, but it was probably my favorite site, and it was definitely worth it. I almost took a job there, actually.
Yeah, you want to talk about that?
Yeah. I spent my first 7 weeks of this year at RGH, and I loved it. And they offered me a job, and I almost took it, but I just I applied to nursing school to continue my education back home, because I wanted to not have to keep paying Alfred money and live here. I wanted to commute. So I applied to a college closer to home for nursing, and I got accepted, and I had to make a hard decision. And I decided to go to nursing school instead of working at RGH. So I'm kind of just like finishing up my degree here. Probably going to take my boards. Hopefully I pass. And then I'm going to work over the summer, go to nursing school, and then work on like the weekends or something per diem to keep my x-ray going.
Cool.
Yep.
Anything else, Doug?
I got nothing. I think you've exhausted all of my questions.
No, I'm pretty set on what I got. So that's been the show today. This is Real Talk. We will try and give you some of the socials, hopefully. I did not do that last time.
I will give the socials.
Doug, I believe in you. And I want to say thank you so much for coming on and talking to us.
Yeah.
Really enjoyed it.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem.
No problem.